welcome to Firelink Gamer. I'm John, and I'm going to be going through kind of a hard game that I found. Now, I know you all have heard of hard games before, but I think I found one that's even harder than Dark Souls or Bloodborne or even Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. So, the game that I found is called Gloomhaven. Now, Gloomhaven was released in 2017 as kind of as a board game, but it's advanced to a computer game, and that's what I'm going to be going over today. So the game, as a board game, it's kind of like a D&D, Dungeons and Dragons game. It's got RPG elements into it, and we'll get to why it's hard in a second, but it really is a hard game. They have 95 different scenarios and 17 characters to start the game off. And when you first start, you're only given access to 6, the main basic characters. And now that it's finally loaded, it starts out pretty hard at first. I'm gonna go to New Adventure. Now this is the open beta, so you're not able to get to the campaign. You're not able to do multiplayer, but we're gonna start New Adventure. It gives you an option of 3 difficulties. The first one is normal, second one is hard, and the last one is insane. Now hard, they get rid of some of the normal options like peaceful, 25% less enemies, blessed, and safe paths. Insane, they only give you dangerous paths. They only give you adventure pathways are set up to be hard difficulty, which I can't even get past the normal, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to choose normal. Now these are the first 6 characters that you can get. Since I've been playing, I got this character opened. Like I said, I've won once. I've never seen him, so I won't go through. The first 6 are these 6 right here. I suggest using the Brute since he's kind of got more health, and he also does a little bit more damage. And then also the Tinkerer. The Tinkerer is kind of your healer, but he can get rid of several enemies at once. And to start off, you have to name your party. I'm just going to name it Party for now, just to start out. Now it says, "Welcome mercenaries. While drinking at the Wayward Inn, you overhear snippets of conversation between 2 town militia. Apparently, a local bandit commander has come into possession of a number of heretical texts and has begun researching necromancy." Now, for this time to start, it went down to the south. A lot of times it goes way over here to the west. It says, "You are well aware the magical research often requires a handy supply of gold, and after asking around, you discover his hideout whereabouts." So that's where you're supposed to go, and I guess it is the Bloodwatch Burrow is the first one. I'm not sure what the board game one is, but anyway. So you're given 4 places that you can travel. Since we got to travel south, we're going to want to go to the Burned Tavern. But it says, obviously you are unprepared to assault his base just yet, so you're prepared to leave Wayward and head off to raid some local crypts in search of knowledge and some better equipment. So Wayward is kind of the town. You are given 2 different options, 2 different stores that you can go into, but they kind of have the same items inside of them. So the general store gives you a list of items that you can give, and all these give you, just like many RPG games, they give you power-ups to help your characters. Now you start out with 60 gold, as you can see here on the left. And I suggest buying the Heather Shield for both characters first. Heather Shield gives you one hit point or 1 hit that will not affect your character, and it definitely helps you out throughout the game. So buy 2 of them. Now underneath your character you can see there's different items that you can use. Each one affects them differently. You have armor, items, you have your boots, and then you have the stamina or potions that you can use throughout the game. So we're going to give them both a Heather Shield. To do that, you click on the hand and click on the shield, and each one will have that. I also suggest starting out with a stamina potion because it gives you one of your ability cards. Like I said in the beginning, your ability cards are what you have to start the game. Each character has about 10, and you want to be able to get those back throughout the game. So buy 2 of them to start out the game. Now this does waste all your gold, but you'll see why it's important in a second. And then I suggest is leaving Wayward. You can go to the Cured Hide, but like I said, it has kind of the same items, and you don't really need them at this point. So leave Wayward. Now we're gonna go to the Burned Tavern, but to do that you have to click on this green path. You can't click on the actual waypoint because it doesn't actually take you there. So you click on the green path. It says start the journey. Yes, we're gonna start a journey. Now each of these little overlapping waypoints are the first part before you actually get to the waypoint you're searching for. So you gotta click on those, and it says travel to Shooting Gallery, which is where we're going. Now, sometimes before you get to the actual area, you'll get an encounter that happens. And encounters give you an option of A or B. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And we'll explain that if it happens again later, but what it does is it either can give you gold, can give you a blessing. There's so many different variables, and if you ever played the board game, you know that these are either the road or they're in town, the merchant. And it's basically scenarios whether you want to be a good character or a bad character. I suggest staying with one. So let's enter the Shooting Gallery, and I'll kind of explain why I think this game is so hard. And one thing you can see is the game has really good graphics. Like even just zooming in, the graphical detail is amazing in the game. Now I'm playing on a 560 NVIDIA Ti, so I'm not playing on a very high graphics card, so it doesn't take a lot. But another thing that makes it hard is you have to do either a movement or an attack. You can do one of each in each round. So for the Brute, I need to get up here so that I can attack these characters, or attack these enemies. And there's 4 in this room, but there's always also a door over here that you can see on the left or the right, closed door. The goal is to get through each door in each area and kill all the enemies in the room. So to do that, I need to make him move. Now each one of these cards has their main attack or a main movement, but you can also do special attacks or special movements. So I need to get close, and I need to do at least 5 damage. My suggestion is to try and attack multiple enemies at once in the first go around. So I'm gonna move and I'm gonna attack. But another thing that makes it hard is each one of these comes with this burn. If a burn denotes that this card will not go to the discard pile after usage, but rather be burned pile, from which cards cannot be recovered by resting, but can be by certain recoverability. So basically they go away. So that's what makes it hard. You only have 10 cards to deal with, but then you have multiple enemies to kill. So when you use a card, make sure at first that you can, 1, get rid of enemies, and then 2, don't use up all your cards at once. Another thing that you can see up here is their initiative. The initiative is who goes first. Now enemies, no matter how small your initiative is, as you can see, 17 was Tinkerers, which is actually very small, but yet the enemy, the Bandit Archer, gets to go first. So right off the bat, I'm gonna take damage. Now I didn't take damage on that one, I got lucky, because each time you do an attack, you have to draw a card and see if your attack actually works. Now his didn't, luckily, but watch what happens when I do it. So I'm gonna move 2 so I can get into a position to actually attack these enemies. But then my attack, I'm gonna have to burn a card. Luckily, I can actually attack 3. Before, I haven't been able to attack all 3. Confirm target, and look what happens this time. Now, as you can see, all of them I had -1. I killed 1, but I should have done 3 damage to all 3. That's what can happen. You can either get a 0, a 1, a +1, +2, any of those, and sometimes it won't take out the enemies. But I still burnt a card, so now I'm down to 9 cards, 8 cards because this is discard, and that's only the first round. Now they're drawing some cards, but I still got hit for damage of 2. So that's what that Heather Shield does. It takes one of the damages away. Now I'm gonna try and kill this bandit guard, and luckily I think I can, but watch, I'm gonna attack 6, watch what happens. See, in that time I got lucky. I was able to do attack a 7, which is pretty good. At least I got rid of 2 of the enemies. But as you go along, the game gets harder, and the enemies get more powerful. So again, here's what you can do to minimize that. You have your stamina potion, which allows you to get some of the cards you burned or discard back. So that's why I suggest getting this. But what makes it hard is the enemies get harder, and your cards start going away. So you might have only 2 or 3 cards left. And you have to have 2 cards per turn per character. So anyway, that's what makes this game hard. If you like this game, please give me a like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna try to make it through this one. Like I said, I've done this 39 times. I've only won once. So we'll see you on the next video.